poems.
That's great.
I thought I'd start our journey together in Ireland with the poem that kicked off my first poetry collection. It's dedicated to my beloved lost mum. And after it was published in the Irish Times in 2016, it went a little bit viral. And it was through all the responses from around the world that I had the most personal connection with poetry, and realizing how much a poem can touch a heart from, a great distance, regardless of culture or background. This poem is from a sequence of 15 poems in the book called In Memoriam. In Memoriam to the Draper. The town is dead, nothing but the wind howling down Main Street and a calf bawling outside the Fiddlers. My mother's words, not mine, in a letter kept in a drawer these long years. She had a way with words, my mother. That's why they came, the faithful of her following, leaning into her over the counter for an encouraging word or the promise of a novena. Long before we had local radio, our town had my mother. Harbinger of the death notices and the funeral arrangements, bestower of colloquial wisdom, bearer of news on all things, great and small, who was home and who hadn't come, who had got the civil service job and by what bit of pull, the councillor's niece smug in her new navy suit, oblivious to the circulating countersuit. Would you ever think of coming home? Her words would catch me unawares, lips poised at the edge of a steaming mug, igniting a spitfire of resentment each time, then draping me for days. I'd wear it like a horsehair shirt all the way back, until the sunshine and the hustle had worn it threadbare, this extra bit of baggage in every emigrant's case, their mother's broken heart. I never thought to ask her, would you want me to? So I could look out at the rain circumnavigating the empty street and shiver at the wind whipping in under the door. I don't miss that question now on my annual pilgrimage home. My father never asks it. Like me, I know he feels it hanging in the air alongside her absence. I miss my mother and her way with words. So from there, I thought I'd take you to the scene outside my bedroom window in the wilds of West Clare, where I grew up. Come and find me, where wailing walls of moss-rolled stone, slowly yielding to a centuried crusade, cling with smoke of long-gone bog fires, now forever married with the drifting sea mist, lifting over impossibly green fields, clutching ancient secrets, drop sharply off to pitching shale, where swarming gulls rise with the lagging tide, running the gusts, plunging with the lulls, to swoop and pull a glistening hole under the flagging watch of a waterlocked tower, marking the ethereal line between sky and sea, and spectral hills loom long past muted islands, still harbouring a shipwrecked shore. Come and find me in the dying light, where a cormorant calls unanswered, shallow over his own ghost. The next poem marries the worlds of my mother country and my chosen homeland of Australia. It tells how the light and dark both shape us. If I were to tell you, when sunbeams stream over yellow underbelly, a honey eater feasting between gilding leaves, I wish I could fly up there to sit for a while away from the pace and chaos of ordinary things. That is where, when I spy the upturned cup of a ghost moon plump in a deep blue pillowed afternoon, I think I must call my mum, though I clasped her hand, while she passed such a long time since, as the tide rasped its shallow symphony over our last goodbye. That is where, when I stretched to parting kiss the soft pink cheek of my son, now 12, towering over me, I feel again the wrench as they pulled him from my ruptured belly. That is where, when breath of sea sends me sailing back to this rough hand gentle over mine, my weathered trawler captain father, steering me away from jagged territory into calmer waters, still sometimes against my will. That is where, when I smell your neck to fall again with the handrail of our romantic balcony, landing in the toy-scattered couch of our reality, that is where, when I tumble on a crumpled butterfly, ensnared once more by that man who tore my wings, never mind, I put them back together in time. On dark days you can still see the scars, but on bright ones, that is where I would tell you, that is where the light shines through the strongest. And given our mounting environmental plight, I thought I would read this next poem. In a sunburnt country, here where men are busily at work, carving out new deserts where wild boronia once grew, rivers running rapidly dry, wallum frogs croaking by their thousands as sag-skinned cattle carcasses graze on empty acres fenced against an inland sea. One more migrant tide repelled, kangaroos shot through at sunset, their sorry hides blanching over bleaching bones, for daring to outrun the culling gun on this new battlefront, where parched and starving natives are run aground, swarming from new deserts, carved out by men busily at work, where wild boronia once grew. Rivers running rapidly through, and wallum frogs once croaked in their thousands. And the next poem takes a more universal view of our predicament. It was written for a Giant Steps anthology to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing last year. Singularity, staring back through that magnificent desolation to this deviled blue globe, one dome suspended in light, the other obscured by the shadow of where you stood, immersed as you were in light particles from long dead stars. Did you wonder at our seemingly eternal journey, cycling over and over from light to dark to light, reflecting on earth, seeing home for the first time in that vast perspective, at once vivid and spectral, this silenced beauty, turning slowly over its own desolate truth, the enormity of its one persisting challenge to somehow find our allied humanity, a singular planetary alignment, as subtly elusive as one perfect surface reflection, as great and bungled, as necessary as the light we feed on, as desperate to repel the dark, over and over, to separate and break us apart from the spectre of some alternative reality, time folded in on itself, suspending us in an other perpetual virtual truth, and the hovering ghosts of what could have been. Might be time for something a little bit lighter. What about a somewhat unconventional love poem? Nothing happens in the burr. We lay in bed talking about nothing till two came stomping up the stairs, raging on about nothing, one hot on his heel. What did you do to him? Nothing. After breakfast you put music on. Adele, Luca Bloom, Joe Cocker, Emily Sandé. They had nothing in common but us. 11 a.m. on a Saturday, dancing barefoot in the kitchen, pretending there was nothing going on. I lolled between 1 and 2 while you did nothing in the garden. Got Two's help to move it to the garage. Nothing in the fridge, so we cobbled something together. Nothing on TV, so we watched an expert panel arguing vehemently about nothing the government was doing nothing about, while we shook our heads knowing nothing would change. Slouching on the couch, nothing between us but the dog, 8 feet in the air. A howl and crash from upstairs. What happened? Nothing. In unison, too quick. What was that all about? Nothing at all. We split a cider, yours straight from the bottle, mine from a champagne flute, making an occasion out of nothing. Till we went to bed in no hurry, we had nothing on. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing I would change. And to finish, I'll read a poem from which this book, Out of Empty Cups, derives its title in the last few lines. I just put something down. It's hard to balance it. I don't know if you're aware, but Ireland's currently going through a bit of a reckoning on women's rights. In 2017, the bodies of 800 babies were found in a septic tank under a mother and baby home in the west, near where I come from. That turned out to be the tip of the iceberg, and there's a big government inquiry going on into 14 institutions now. It's a horrifying history of illegal adoptions, illicit vaccine trials, and unmarked mass graves. The last of those baby homes closed its doors, shockingly, in 1996. This poem is dedicated to the victims of the mother and baby homes. If you don't know this story, I wrote an article about it, which appeared in the Irish Times and also in Verity called Marked Women, Unmarked Graves, and that's available online. This poem is a reminder that bad things happen when good people turn a blind eye. And I just want to say thank you so much for your kind attention and for your support here this evening. All Souls. A citrus swirl of myrtle crosses my path as 3 skulking brush turkeys scatter dramatically into the understory. Crushed sandstone scrapes under flagging sandals, blending with the tick-tick distant and more insistent chitter and chirrup, perpetual trisagion against the far-off clamour of trucks and cars, morphing this second day of November into the roll and thunder of mist-capped surf on distant shores. And there's the sharp salt catch at the back of the pallet, my mother standing, arms thrown out against the Atlantic's roar, embracing the world with a desperate love like Jesus after the delivery of her death sentence and before her crucifixion. Too far away, too long ago, but still the piercing and the gush of water, the salt rub of old wounds crossing time and space. The quick chirp of a message from my father, 11 hours behind, but instantaneously dispatching me to the fiery pits of hell where starched sisters must surely be burning. Pharaohs in their hooded head coverings, shepherding the little children and their unmarried mothers through famishment into lightless catacombs, saving an anointed few born nameless in Moses baskets unto the promised land. A kookaburra laughing carries me home through the clearing where the wattles are bursting, their golden crowns dancing against a brooding backdrop, and rainbow lorikeets will swoop in later, lifting our hearts out of emptied cups and away with them into the heavens.